Auditor-General of South Africa audits public sector entities and provides assurance to Parliament and other stakeholders that government finances are properly accounted for, and that financial statements and key performance indicators are fairly presented. In this video, we will be discussing the role and functions of the Auditor-General of South Africa, including its mandate, its significance, and the various types of audits they are tasked to perform, as well as the various opinions they report on. Welcome back to Public Administration 101, proudly brought to you by Kano Consultants, for professional advice you can trust. As indicated, we will explain the role of the Auditor-General of South Africa by first defining what an audit is, and then provide an overview of the Auditor-General as government's auditor. We will then discuss the mandate of the Auditor-General, as well as its role and functions in South Africa. We will also list and explain the different types of audits performed by the Auditor-General, and the various types of audit opinions they can issue, and then conclude by explaining its importance. Before we get into today's video, if you are watching this on YouTube, we would like to remind you to please check out our other videos on public administration under this channel, and don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more content. You can also support the channel by signing up to our Patreon page for early releases of these videos and for more content. Check out the link to our Patreon page on the description below. Now, let us get into today's video. Firstly, let us define what an audit is. An audit is an objective and an unbiased evaluation of an organization's compliance with either external requirements or internal requirements. Essentially, an audit is an independent review and evaluation of the finances and other compliance requirements of an organization. In other words, an audit is an examination of financial reports of an organization by someone who is independent from that organization. In terms of the public sector in South Africa, audits are performed by the Auditor-General of South Africa, commonly referred to as the AGSA. The Auditor-General of South Africa performs audits of national and provincial government departments, identified public entities, as well as municipalities and municipal entities. The mandate of the Auditor-General of South Africa can be found in Chapter 9 of the South African Constitution. Specifically, Chapter 9 of the Constitution establishes the Auditor-General of South Africa as one of the state institutions supporting constitutional democracy. The Constitution recognizes the importance of the Auditor-General by further stating that 1. The Auditor-General is independent and subject only to the Constitution and the law. 2. The Auditor-General is impartial. And 3. The Auditor-General of South Africa must exercise its powers and perform its functions without fear, favor or prejudice. This means that no person or organ of state may interfere with the functioning of that office. As a Chapter 9 institution, the Constitution further compels other organs of state in South Africa to assist and protect the AGSA's independence, its impartiality, its dignity, and its effectiveness. To learn more about other Chapter 9 institutions in South Africa, as well as their roles and mandate, as per the Constitution, please check out this video under our channel. We will include the link to that video in the description below this video. Now, back to this video. The mandate of the Auditor-General is also provided by other laws of the country. And according to the Public Audit Act, the Auditor-General of South Africa is the supreme audit institution of the country. The Public Audit Act further states that the AGSA has full legal capacity, is independent, and subject only to the Constitution and the law. It must also be impartial, and exercise its powers, and perform its functions without fear, favor, or prejudice. In this next section, we'll discuss the role and the various functions of the Auditor-General. In terms of the Public Audit Act, the AGSA is empowered to audit and report on the accounts, the financial statements, and the financial management of all national and provincial departments and administrations, all municipalities and municipal entities, the Parliament and all 9 provincial legislatures, all constitutional institutions, and any other institution or accounting entity required by legislation. The AGSA is further required to audit and report on the consolidated financial statements of the national government and all 9 provincial governments, as well as consolidated financial statements of all municipalities and all municipal entities. In addition to the above, the Auditor-General may audit and report on the accounts, financial statements, and financial management of any public entity listed in the PFMA, and any other institution not mentioned under Section 4(1) of the Public Audit Act, provided that such entity is either funded from the National Revenue Fund, or a provincial revenue fund, or by a municipality, or such entity is authorized, in terms of any legislation, to receive money for a public purpose. Essentially, the Auditor-General audits public sector entities and provides assurance to Parliament and other stakeholders that government finances are properly accounted for, and that financial statements and key performance indicators are fairly presented. In executing its mandate and functions, the Auditor-General is empowered to perform different types of audits, which are mandatory audits, discretionary audits, as well as special audits. Firstly, let's discuss mandatory audits. These are regularity audits on the financial affairs and compliance matters relating to national and provincial government departments, including identified public entities as well as municipalities and municipal entities. Under mandatory audits, the Auditor-General is specifically required to 1. Report on whether the financial statements are fairly presented, in accordance with applicable laws. 2. Report on whether the entity has achieved all predetermined objectives. And 3. Report on whether the entity has complied with relevant laws and regulations. The Auditor-General is also empowered to perform discretionary audits, which often involves performing investigations. Under these audits, the Auditor-General is empowered to investigate and report on factual findings with regard to financial misconduct, maladministration, and impropriety, based on allegations, or even based on matters of public interest. The Auditor-General is further empowered to perform special audits, which involves reporting on factual findings. For example, donor funding certificates for legislative compliance. Performance audits, including environmental audits. The economic, efficient, and effective utilization of government resources. And the effect of policy implementation, excluding policy evaluation. In this next section, we will discuss the different types of audit opinions issued by the Auditor-General of South Africa. Let us start by asking, what is an audit opinion? An auditor's opinion is a statement presented by an independent auditor revealing the authenticity of the organization's financial affairs, and whether or not the financial statements are fairly presented. There are 4 types of audit opinions, namely, an unqualified opinion, a qualified opinion, an adverse opinion, and a disclaimer of opinion. To learn more about audit opinions, please check out this video under our channel. We will include the link in the description of this video, as well as pin the link in the comments section below. Now, back to the video. In conclusion, the Auditor General is mandated to perform audits on whether or not public entities in South Africa have spent and accounted for the allocated public funds in an ideal manner and for its intended purpose. The Auditor General therefore plays an important role in enabling accountability and thus promoting sound financial governance practices in South Africa. The Auditor General does this by providing an independent assurance to the various stakeholders on whether government entities that use public funds have managed their financial affairs in line with sound financial principles, have also complied with the relevant legal framework, and have provided credible information on the achievement of their financial and performance objectives. In this way, the elected representatives of the South African people are able to hold the executive and accounting authorities, officials, and public entities accountable. Ultimately, the work of the Auditor General empowers citizens to hold the custodians of public resources accountable. We've come to the end of this video on the role and the various functions of the Auditor General of South Africa. So, thank you for watching. Please take time to check out our other videos on public administration and public finance under this channel, where we discuss various topics relating to public administration, as well as public management and the management of the public sector, including the running of government. And subscribe to our channel for more content. And remember to turn on the notification button to make sure that you don't miss out when we post new videos. You can also connect with us by following us on social media @Consult Kano, and continue the conversation by leaving us a comment below or tagging us on social media using the hashtag #ConsultKano. Thank you again for watching. Join us again next time for another video. Until then, check out these other videos. Kano Consultants. For professional advice you can trust.